Watkins to the stand.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Sit right here, speak into the microphone, state your name for the record.
Okay. My name is Christopher James Watkins, W-A-T-K-I-N-S.
Thank you, Mr. Watkins. What is your current occupation?
I'm a licensed private investigator, licensed through SLED, and I am a digital forensic analyst.
What is a digital forensic analyst?
So I have a company that I own and operate called Certified Computer Forensics. Its focus is in digital forensic science, which entails the collection, securing, preservation, analysis, and investigation of digital information. So electronically stored information on phones, computers, what have you. And that could be in the scope of criminal-related cases, civil-related cases, family law. If it's digital, that's in my wheelhouse.
Okay. How long have you had that business?
That business, specifically 2019, but I've been operating in this capacity for 16 years.
16 years. And do you hold any certifications in this field?
Yes, I do. I've been certified or recognized by IASIS, which is the International Association of Computer Investigative Specialists, as a certified forensic computer examiner and a certified mobile device examiner.
And have you ever been qualified as an expert before in this field in the court of law in this state?
Yes, I have. I've been qualified 35 times in the field of digital forensic science in this state family court, court common pleas, general sessions, and the United States federal court and the Columbia District.
Thank you. Your Honor, I'd offer Mr. Watkins as an expert in the area of computer forensics.
Didn't you say digital forensic science?
Digital
Yes, sir.
forensic science. We'll call it that then.
Okay. Any Ford Dyer, please, sir. No, sir. All right. I understand what that means, so you're so qualified for the 36th time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Watkins, how did you come to be involved in this matter and what were you asked to do?
I was contracted by your office, and the request, the scope of work, was to analyze digital evidence that was derived from the iPhones or cell phones collected in this case. More specifically, an iPhone that belonged to Mr. Scott Spivey that was collected and processed by SLED, and to review the underlying work results, the exported data thereof. You asked me to look at the location data specifically, and that was part of my, that was the main focus of my analysis.
And Mr. Watkins, were you provided with a set of data from which to work off of in this case?
Yes, I was.
And what was that?
That was reports generated by SLED, and that, again, those reports were derived from the devices that were collected. So, main focus being Mr. Spivey's iPhone. There was a report, which was my specific focus, which included location data that was derived from this iPhone. More specifically, it originated from a database file on that iPhone, the cache.sqlite database file. This is a common database file found on Apple devices that's responsible for collecting and storing location information gathered by the phone's internal sensors.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 64 up here. It's hard to print these spreadsheets, so I'm going to show it here. Does this look familiar to you?
Yes, sir. That would be the data that I'm referring to.
Okay. And this is the data that you used, you said was recovered by the State Law Enforcement Division after Mr. Spivey's cell phone.
That is my understanding, yes, sir.
Okay. And did the data, this data that you received, did it contain GPS data, speed data? What all did it include?
Yes. So the cache.sqlite database file contains the timestamps for each record where location data is collected for, the latitude and longitude coordinates, the accuracy rating measured in meters, and that's a radius. The speed value, which is measured in meters per second. The direction, which is measured in degrees relative to north. And I believe that's all. There's more data there as well. There's also altitude. But as far as conducting my analysis, those that I named specifically were those that were relevant in my analysis.
So these records contain location, they contain direction, and they contain speed.
Yes.
Okay, and can you explain a little bit to the court exactly what GPS positional data is and how a cell phone records and stores it?
Sure. So specific to iPhone, since that's what we're talking about in this case, the iPhone has within it several sensors that are responsible for collecting this type of data. So you've got a GPS antenna and a Wi-Fi antenna. Both of those will inherently influence location, obviously GPS. There's a cellular modem that communicates with the cell towers that can influence location. There's also a barometer, which is responsible for estimating the altitude. And there's also the magnometer, which is responsible for getting us the degree. So it's like a compass.
Okay. And in addition to analyzing this data, were you asked to prepare a visual representation of the data?
Yes.
A map, if you will?
Yes.
Okay. And in that analysis, were you asked to analyze the data for certain patterns of driving behavior?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Specifically, were you asked to analyze the data to determine if there were any brake checking like events within it?
Yes, that was the scope of the assignment, was to observe this data and look for any patterns within the behavior or within the data to see whether it was consistent with the behavior that would be recognized as a brake check style maneuver. The hallmarks of a brake check style maneuver we would see traveling at highway speeds, normal highway speeds, consistent, and then it could be followed by a increase in speed, or it could just stay steady. Then it would follow by an abrupt deceleration, followed by a recovery. So we're looking, that was my goal, is to look for those types of data patterns and assess whether those were consistent with that style scenario.
Okay. And did you prepare a report to that effect?
Yes.
Okay. When you take a look at the TV screen, this is what we're going to mark as Defendant's Exhibit 33. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
And is this the report you prepared?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And were you able to identify, in analyzing the data, any brake checking events within it?
From my examination of the data, I observed 3 events of interest where there was a abrupt deceleration event recorded. This report indicates the underlying information supporting that interpretation. Do you want to go through each event?
Yes, we'll go through each event now. But first, I want to ask you just to be clear, what is distinguishable about a brake checking event? Say from a driver slowing for traffic or coming up to a stoplight that's red.
So there can be variability with that because, mind you, when we're looking at deceleration patterns and data like this, there's nothing in this data that will reveal to me driver's intent. And by its nature, a brake check maneuver has an element of intent behind it. So we're looking for the hallmarks of what the data would show. What is the data going to show that is consistent with that type of activity? We expect to see a deceleration event after steady steady travel, deceleration event followed by recovery. Now what I did in my data set, or in this data set, I made a working copy of the data and I analyzed not just every deceleration event. I had to have a benchmark by which to make an objective assessment of this data. So what I did is I set the threshold to a 4 meters per second square deceleration. And what that did is that isolated these three events. I looked at the cluster of records within these three events, and I recorded the maximum speed of travel, the minimum speed of travel, calculated the difference between those two speeds, the rate in which the speed declined, and then the recovery event afterwards, so when the speed recovers back to normal highway speed. That analysis by itself, showing these events would be consistent with that type of activity.
Okay. All right, I want to turn to your report now, and you got listed up here as event 1. What was, first off, what are the times associated with this event?
Okay, so event 1, we're looking at between 5:46:35 p.m. and 5:46:41 p.m. That is where we see the abrupt speed decrease from 72.73 miles per hour to 25.43 miles per hour. So what we're seeing there is,
Go ahead.
this is over a period of about 6 seconds with a total reduction of speed of 47.3 miles per hour.
So we've got an event here where Mr. Spivey is going 72 miles an hour, and within 6 seconds he brings his car back to 25 miles, brings his car down to 25 miles an hour.
Yes.
Okay, and then I want to ask you about the recovery or reacceleration speeds and why that's important to your analysis or not.
Yes, it's relevant because when we're looking at a deceleration event, if it comes to a stop after this activity, we can't correlate that to a possible brake check maneuver. So we need to see what the speed is after that event. And so if it recovers back to normal traffic speed, we can rule this as a candidate. And so following this event of the speed decrease, at 3:46:41 p.m., it reaches a recovery speed of approximately 50.29 miles per hour by 5:46:49 p.m.
Okay. All right, I want to go into event 2. And you've got, I'm going to ask you to real quick look at these graphs that you put up here. Will you just briefly explain what each of these graphs are and how they help you?
Yeah, so this is just showing the rate of speed over time. So we're just seeing the timestamp showing bottom of the x-axis there, showing the rate of speed where it began at the 72.73 miles per hour, going down to that 25 mile per hour, and then increasing back up. This graph here, or this chart here, represents the deceleration magnitude, so measuring the magnitude of the rate of change of speed. We're showing that it reached a magnitude of 5.25.
Okay, and why is that important?
Well, that's important because we want to know what the rate of speed change is. We want to know how quickly this vehicle is decelerating. Now, the deceleration magnitude is what I used as my benchmark, my reference point to isolate these records within the data set. See, if I were to go by just any deceleration event, then I'm getting into potential just routine traffic modulation. We want to see records where we're seeing prominent deceleration events. And so that's why I used the 4 meters per second square as a threshold.
Okay. And this one here, briefly.
It's kind of the same thing, just in reverse. So when we're measuring accuracy is a positive number, deceleration is a negative. The magnitude is just the absolute value, so it is deceleration of minus 5.29, I believe it said. The magnitude of that, it would just be the 5.29. So it's just representing the same thing, just showing the deceleration and acceleration over time.
Okay. All right, let's move on to event 2. What's the time sequence here that we're talking about?
I understand this deceleration.
Okay.
Is there a reason? It's not stipulated that there was deceleration events.
That's correct, Judge.
So why are we going into so deeply? I mean, there's no
I'll streamline it. How about that?
All right, because
Does
I
that
mean,
work for you? All right.
There was trucks on the highway and a lot of inconsistent driving. I followed that all the way through.
I understand, Judge. I'll breeze
And
right
it wasn't a
through it.
wreck to analyze impact or something, so I'm kind of confused.
I promise I'll bring it around to a point and I will streamline this questioning, Judge.
Okay.
The event 2, keeping what the judge had just said in mind, the event 2, what's the speed of that deceleration event?
Well, we're seeing a speed reduction of 80 miles per hour to about 48 miles per hour
Okay.
over a 5-second period.
All right. And the third event?
Third event, we're seeing a speed reduction from 75.8 miles per hour to 45.9 miles per hour over a period of 3 seconds.
Okay. And those are the 3 events that you were looking at, right?
Yes.
Okay. And in each of the events that we just talked about, the vehicle's traveling well above the speed limit, brake suddenly, and then reaccelerate.
Yes.
Okay. And as part of your report, were you asked to prepare a visual representation of the data in these events in this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to show you this and ask you if this is your handiwork here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, and with the court's permission, I'd like to walk through this, Judge, just to give you a visual representation of not only these events, but the speeds of Mr. Spivey at each given point down this highway as we pass certain places on the road that you have heard about in witness testimony and otherwise.
Not every point.
It'll be very quick, Judge.
Okay.
Yeah,
There were a lot of points in that map I was looking at yesterday.
there are, yes, sir, and this will be accelerated. We're not going to go by this 1 second at a time here.
I'm gonna do them today.
Yeah.
All right, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
What's the difference in the demonstration, yellow, green, shrimp color, whatever that orange color is? What does that mean? What's that telling me?
Yes, sir. So I color coded it based on the speed values. So 0 to 5 is blue, 5 to 25 is green. The legend's over here on the bottom left. 25 to 45 yellow.
Okay, I see.
45. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And Your Honor, if you notice, Mr. Watkins has included the speed limits in each of these given areas for you to see.
New cars do that too.
Yeah, they do.
The speed over that big bridge across the intercoastal roadway is 40?
40, yes, sir.
It used to
Well,
be.
it's 45 over the bridge, and then as you're coming down close to McLeod Seacoast Hospital here, it drops down to 40.
Okay, it used to not be.
Yeah, and some of the speeds further up Highway 9 used to be 45, and then as development has gone, they brought it down to 45.
No question, a lot of development has gone up in that area.
All right, here, Mr. Watkins, is this the first event we just discussed with the judge?
Yes, sir. Event number 1 is represented here on this map. Yes.
And that's a deceleration of almost 73 miles an hour back down to 25 miles an hour.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that is, obviously, we're seeing here well before Bell & Bell and Tractor Supply Company, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's at Billy Kid's restaurant.
It is.
See, I do know the area.
Favorite of my grandparents.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Watkins, I sent you some case materials from this case to incorporate into your animation, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What does this indicate to you?
Where we're at now is a stop.
Okay. Probably stopped at the light here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. At this point here, what do you see in the speed data?
we're over 80.
And then we've got this point marked here. What does that say?
It says Spivey forces couple off-road.
And do we see a slight deceleration here?
Yes, we do.
And then a quick reacceleration?
Back to 85, 80, yeah, high 80s, yes, sir.
Okay. And through this stretch over the river, how fast are we getting?
Here we get over 90.
As we come into this turn, you put a marker up here, initial encounter, Boyd, Williams, and Spivey.
That's correct, yep.
Okay, and you're basing that off of
Witness statements.
witness statements. Okay.
That's right.
So Mr. Spivey is well above 90 miles an hour. Has already had one brake checking event on the road, and that's before we even get to where witness testimony indicates that Mr. Williams and Mr. Boyd and Mr. Spivey got entangled with one another.
You testify?
Yes, sir.
I probably should have asked that a different way, Judge.
Yeah.
Well, I'll keep moving along. And this is your second event that we talked about, right?
Yes, sir.
And we go from what speed to what speed again?
Oh, about 80 miles per hour to 48
Okay.
over a 5-second period.
Is that Pine Needle, just so we can,
No, farther up.
okay.
We're getting ready to get there. And this is your third event that we discussed?
Yes, sir.
And tell me the speeds just one more time.
75.8 to 45.9 reduction in 3 seconds.
Got it. And there's some photographs that are popping up here. How are you able to place the location of those photographs on this map?
In respect to the photos like these that are taken of the vehicle, these were from Mr. Williams' iPhone, and those indicated the latitude and longitude that's embedded in the metadata. So if it had latitude and longitude data, it was mapped.
Okay.
All right, question for you. What you're saying is that Williams' phone had data, but not the speed location data, it had other data that you could bring in and compare.
Yes, sir. It's just not the cache.sp Lite, the data from that we would really love to have. We don't have that.
But it had other data stored from its
Yes, sir.
normal operating.
Yes, sir, it did.
I think, Judge, I can ask a question to help you. When you take a photograph on your phone, like Mr. Williams has here, does your phone save geolocation information about where that photograph is taken?
It can if that function is turned on, yes.
And was that function turned on here in order for you to get that location data?
Indeed, it was, yes.
Okay. And here we see another photograph that was taken,
Yes.
and another.
Yes, sir.
You placed this marker here. Can you read that for me?
Horry County Fire Rescue Station 13.
And those red dots indicate what?
We're slowing down to the 65 to 85 range, and then the orange represents slowing down into the 45, 65 range. We're seeing it slow down a little bit here into the low 60s.
And you've got a marker up there that says average speed measurement zone. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so where that began, at the bottom there, where Corey Road is, Measuring from that, or Coney Road, I'm sorry, measuring from that marker all the way up to Camp Swamp Road, this stretch is measuring the average speed of the vehicle. It's a running average, so it's calculating after every point.
So in the last 1.83 miles of this trip, Scott Spivey's average speed was what?
62.89,
And the speed limit there is what?
60.
All right, and just my last point here, Mr. Watkins, I'm going to zoom in on this here. Tell me about this, what this indicates to you, what it doesn't indicate to you, what it might mean, what it might not mean, just what is this
Well,
deviation?
If you wouldn't mind, just zoom out a little bit
Yep,
and
sorry.
play it so the rest of the markers show up. All right, right there is good. So to your question, what we're seeing here is the center point of that location, the latitude and longitude, is consistent with that vehicle being in the left lane, and we see a shift to the right lane here just before the turn. The degree of certainty as far as the measurement, whether or not it's in the left or right lane, is dependent on the accuracy rating for each one of these records.
Okay. But these records here indicate, as you can see, an abrupt shift from the left lane across the right and onto Camp Swamp Road, correct?
According to the center point of those locations, it is consistent with that behavior, yes.
Okay. All right, Judge, no further questions at this time?
Ron, would you mind,
Yeah.
since you were demonstrating, would you mind scrolling back to the, did you have any questions for Moss? No, okay. Would you mind scrolling back to the old couple ran off the road park?
Yeah. All right. And you tell me when to stop and start.
Well, where's the,
Up past these two markers here. Up past Colonial. This would be the intersection of
right,
Colonial.
up to that point though, so you're scrolling through and we're seeing the speeds right there in the bottom right-hand corner, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's okay. So 85, 84, 83, 84. So that 1 mile an hour, that's good. One mile an hour change, that was the slowdown you saw?
If you would, close that call-out box there, the one that's in the center of the page, so we can better see the records. See it in the center where it shows it's almost like it's right above the record. It's white. To the
So, I
right.
don't know where, here.
In the very center.
Mr. Watkins, grab that wood stick right
Yes,
in front of you there.
okay.
Point to what you want me to do.
If you click that X right there.
Yeah.
All right, and then if you would, zoom in a little bit. Check this box right here. There you go. Now you can see the speeds.
Yeah, but I wasn't incorrect in what I said, right?
Oh, let's see if you please zoom out.
It's okay. It's not.
So we have if you see further back, it's around 87, slows down to about 83, then goes back up to 85. So
Yeah, but where you place the point, there's a 1 mile an hour change, correct?
roughly, yes.
Okay. Now, you were supplied some materials in addition to what SLED downloaded from Mr. Spivey's phone, correct?
Yes.
All right. And did they give you Mr. Boyd's deposition?
No, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
in front of you the first time and brake checked you, did you ever get in front of him again after that?
To the best of my memory, once he finally got around us and in front of us, we never got back in front of him.
There's nothing in your analysis or this data that disputes that once Mr. Spivey got in front of Mr. Boyd was never in front of Mr. Spivey, correct?
Yeah, I don't have enough data to say that happened.
You don't have any data that would refute what Mr. Boyd says is that once Spivey got in front of him, he stayed in front of him, right?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
That's right. And brake check or brake check event, that presupposes two vehicles in close proximity and then one aggressively stopping for whatever reason because the other one's immediately behind him, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There's nothing in this data that would indicate that Mr. Boyd couldn't have stopped, is there?
Couldn't have stopped like
He
in...
could have stopped his pursuit.
Yeah, you're right. I don't have any data from Mr. Boyd's phone.
Okay. Now, pull up his testimony from yesterday. Yesterday, Mr. Boyd testified. Did you watch any of that?
I did, yes, sir.
Okay. Did you see when he testified about sending the text? We marked it as Plaintiff's Exhibit 19 at 5:49, and then almost immediately thereafter he encountered Mr. Spivey. That's the text, 5:49.
I'm driving along, and I'm just finishing up the text message, and I sent that. As soon as I sent it, sometime immediately after, I hear my friend Bradley, and excuse my language, Judge, yell, "What the fuck?" I looked up first because I thought, oh crap, I'm going to hit something.
Immediately after sending that text, under his sworn testimony in front of this court, he said he encountered Mr. Spivey. And you agree that that is basically in this Bell and Bell intersection at 5:49, right?
Could be. I might have to look at the map again just to refresh. It's hard to remember all those numbers, you know.
You're not telling me. I'm going to show you, and this is the most sophisticated exhibit you're going to see, Judge. This is me. But so the point of this, we're going to mark it as 21? 21. Do you just generally agree this is Pine Needle, right? We can
It's his drawing.
I
Well, it's-
apologize. I don't know the area too well, so I'd have to take your word for it. I don't know if that's fine.
Well, yeah, so what we did is what you testified is that Mr. Williams' photo had GPS data, correct? It located.
Yes, sir. That's
All right.
right.
And so we know the specific point in the world. We can place that point on the map, and what you did is you located that photo at Pine Needle.
Okay. Yes, sir.
And this is all we did here. This is super sophisticated. We took Pine Needle. How far is it from Pine Needle to Camp Swamp? And you don't disagree it's 4.6 miles.
No, sir. I don't disagree with that.
And you also don't disagree that, and this is Marlowe Circle up here, that it's a good bit further up the road before we hear, did you hear the 911 call?
I don't know if I heard the whole thing, but I did hear, I may have heard the whole thing. I'm not sure.
And relating it to Marlowe Circle, correct?
I do recall hearing that part, yes.
And there's nothing in this data that disputes that, is there?
That disputes what specifically?
That he didn't, that they had this whatever event at Pine Needle, that they go on up some more miles before he calls 911.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of.
This is, I'm trying to save us time, but you're such a good witness, I'm gonna use you. Do you generally agree? This one is color coded so that what we did was everything above the speed limit but less than 24 miles an hour. So there's essentially two zones. There may be a place in here where it slows down to less than 45, but for the most part you agree there's a 60, there's a 45, and then there's a 60.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so, do you generally agree that this board fairly and accurately depicts the areas where Scott Spivey's vehicle is going over the speed limit, but less than 24 miles an hour over, red showing, and red, I got the data points, and I'm gonna get you to identify those next. But just generally agree with me that that fairly and accurately depicts, and then green is speed limit or less.
So I understand your question. You're asking whether his speed was above 25 of this for the speed zone. Is that?
Well, so the way you did it, as I understood in your graph, is you just did speed without regard to speed limit. You were just talking about speeds.
But he had he had a speed limit notice on that bottom right-hand box
Yes, sir.
when he's showing the average speeds too.
Okay.
So he showed both.
Okay, so what I did is I just broke it out into, with regard to the speed limit, are you going above, way above, or below? And do you just generally agree? And so what I did, we took the points, we imported them into Google Maps, and that's essentially what you did, right?
Essentially.
Okay. And this is, again, not super sophisticated like Mr. O'Brien just did, but this is just the points.
Okay.
And we just plotted them on there, and
So
you,
you're asking if I quantified how much over the speed limit he was traveling and mapped that out?
all I really want you to do is just agree with me that these are the points, and I'm going to mark that and give it to the judge, and I'm going to sit down.
Well,
You can look at them.
Let me ask that for a question. Didn't your map, the first question I asked you was what do those colors mean?
yes, sir.
Essentially, it's the same data. You colored yours one way, and he's colored his similarly, but relative to the speed limit, whereas yours are.
Yes, sir. I just want to make sure if I'm going to agree to something, I properly understand it. So you've color coded this based on how much over the speed limit the vehicle has traveled. Is that
Correct.
That's correct.
Or not. So green is speed limit or less. Yellow is above the speed limit, but less than 24 miles an hour above. And then red is 25 and above.
Okay. Based on that explanation and having understanding of the data that I've mapped, I can generally agree with the caveat that I have not reviewed every point, so I'm kind of taking your word for it.
Well, I'm kind of taking Sled's word for it, but so, just so that the judge has, because it's hard, like when you had O'Brien zoom out so we could see the speeds, it's hard to get that map oriented so you can see all the speeds, right? You got to manipulate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, so, and I know the judge could work that perfectly, but all we've done is we've done screenshots of all of that data that he just scrolled through. And so, do you agree that that fairly and accurately depicts it? You're welcome to look through it. It's not a trick.
I understand. I haven't reviewed your work product, so just trusting that that's what you've done and it's all correct, then I would probably agree with it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put it in.
And it's 21?
Yes, sir.
What-
22, sorry.
I mean, I understand y'all are getting data from the same source.
That's right.
Spivey's iPhone, comparing it to the same highway, it ought to be fairly consistent.
This will
Yes,
just
sir.
allow you to, if you were so inclined, to scroll through it and see the points.
It's not somebody else's phone, same phone. You're looking at, he's looking at.
Yes, sir. I'm just want to be careful. If I'm going to agree to something that I haven't had time to really meticulously look at.
But you analyzed the phone, it set the data off the phone to get your speeds. He got the data from SLED if they analyzed it. Am I right?
I think
It's the same data.
it's the same data. Yes, Your Honor.
Just like you said at the beginning, we're just looking at it two different ways.
Okay.
All right, so, and you had a pretty big caveat in your report.
Yes.
That your interpretation of the data, you cannot say, other than to speculate, that any change in speed was due to brake check.
Yes, sir. You're right, because I cannot prove intent with this data.
That's right.
Intent would have to be qualified through other corroborating evidence, such as witness statements, video, pictures, something like that.
But what we can say is that we see extended lengths, distances, where Mr. Spivey is going at high rates of speed, greatly in excess of the speed limit, and then we see photographic or video evidence that documents that Mr. Boyd is in close proximity to his vehicle after those extended distances, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That's all I have.
Anything else?
Just one follow-up question, Your Honor. Mr. Watkins, none of the data you provided would be able to tell you anything about what the actual speed of Mr. Boyd's vehicle was at any given point on this trip. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, we don't, there's no data showing exactly how fast he was going or not going.
That's correct.
All right. No further questions, Jeff?
Anything with Mark?
There was another white truck in the photo in front of a couple of locations. You recall that, not Mr. Boyd's white truck, but another white truck. Did you make any analysis about that white truck?
I didn't hear the tail end of that. I'm sorry.
Did you make any analysis about this other white truck?
No, sir, I did not.
And it was very clean without data.
Not without additional data, no, sir.
Very good. Thank you.
How come we have a detection for temperature?
You said temperature?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't know that. All right, you step down. I want to know if iPhone had a temperature gauge in it somehow. You said he said I'll check, so,
Yeah, I'll have to check that one. I've never had that come up.
see, that's me hijacking the expert. All right, you can step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you for coming.
Maybe call on Mr. Timothy Davis.
Mr. Davis, if you place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you're about to give the court in this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Please step right up here and have a seat. Speak into the microphone. State your name for the record.
My name is Timothy Davis.
Your Honor, I may speed this up. Mr. Davis was deposed last week, and I intend to tender him as a licensed surveyor and to offer opinions based on his observations from this same GPS data.
You stipulated survey?
He's a surveyor, he goes straight into talking about it, I don't care.
There you go.
All right, you're a surveyor, congratulations.
Mr. Davis, you've seen Mr. Watkins' data, haven't you?
Yes.
Okay. In fact, you were provided those data points.
Yes,
Did you map them?
I did.
Are these your documents?
They are.
Let me show them to you. Can you just briefly say what they are? I don't want to go into a lot of detail. I just want you to tell us what they are so we can...
Briefly, I basically drew line by line by line of every one of those points that Mr. Watkins also was provided.
And did you also, you heard him talk about the events.
Yes,
Did you plat those events in your drawings?
I did.
Okay. And is that what's before you?
Yes,
Okay. And you've labeled them as CWN, is that right?
yes. Everyone that corresponded with the report that I was provided from him that shows it says Christopher Watkins, event A, B, C, D, E, F.
Could you tell the judge what this plat is?
That right there is line by line of Scott Spivey's vehicle as it's coming around. It gets in the speed, the fast lane, and as it gets right before Camp Swamp, it kind of veers over into the right lane and then takes a right onto Camp Swamp Road for about 200 feet.
And this came from that same sled day, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, we'd just like to mark them all as one exhibit, admit them so they can be available to you if you want to see them. Let me ask you also,
Hang on.
So, it's going to be 67.
67?
Is it
all-
not part of what you already have? That's the reason.
I don't think I've done 67.
All right, those are collectively 67, and we'll flip them together, and what you have in your hands not.
Well, right.
Okay.
Could you tell me what these documents are, how they're organized, and how they can be useful to the court? You may hold it if you'd like. If you told them to show the judge what they are.
So this is, I went over those same lines by line that I drew, and I put in tick marks every mile of the data that I was provided. And then these are just basically blow-ups from different points from the 4 mile mark to the 7 mile mark.
Okay. That's basically Bell to Camp Swamp.
This is actually from, I think it's Boardwalk Billy's to Camp Swamp.
Okay.
Did you notice any areas where the demonstrated driving based on the data appeared to be odd, other than the interchange at Camp Swamp Road we talked about?
There's a couple right there at Stevens Crossroads. You see some zigzags, like leaving the red light and possibly going into the oncoming traffic or crossing into that turn lane.
It'd be fair to say you can't say with precision, surveyor precision, where a vehicle was in any lane of traffic because there's a margin of error. Is that right?
There's a margin of error for every point. There's a radius of error, and you almost have to double that.
Okay, but you can see a general shape of driving within that margin of error. Is that correct?
Correct.
I want to turn now to a little bit different topic.
We'll mark these at 68 collectively.
Please.
All right. Ms. Allen.
I'll need a 69. I think.
You did 67, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
No, I'm going to need a 69, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Coming up.
Do you recall being asked about speed calculations?
Yes, sir.
Let me show you what I asked the report to mark 69, and if you can generally, Your Honor, a copy for you. And I provided a copy to opposing counsel already. Let me ask if you recognize what this is.
What's that?
Could you tell the court what this is?
This is different calculations from different points in the routes where we were either able or unable to calculate the speed, and almost all of it came from Scott Spivey.
Because you had second by second data.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How would you go about trying to figure out what Boyd's speed was without that data?
You would have to figure out the pictures. Some, like I guess Mr. Watkins has already iterated that you had metadata on certain pictures in the phone. The only times that I could use that is 5,780 feet of phone pictures, and basically that's right there at the Minuteman, or Highway 905 crossing Highway 9, and almost at right just after Long Bay Golf Course.
So I don't want to. So you've organized this generally into high and low and average speed where you had data. Is that right?
Correct.
And between various known points, or geographic points. Is that right?
Correct.
And so, did you analyze? I'm gonna walk through your paragraphs. Did you analyze the last 2 miles prior to Camp Swamp Road?
I did.
All right. Could you calculate the average speed in that last 2 miles for Mr. Spivey's truck?
I could.
What was it?
The highest speed is 93.97 miles per hour.
And what about the low and the average?
The low is 21.06 miles per hour to the end. That's the
Okay. How about the last 3 miles prior to Camp Swamp Road?
last 3 miles is high speed is 113.7 miles per hour. Average is 72.96. Lowest is 21.06.
Okay. And in that 2 and 3 mile paragraphs, what could you do about Mr. Boyd's truck?
Nothing.
And why is that?
There was no data provided.
Okay. Now, the next data point is Marlowe Circle to Camp Swamp Road. You see that?
Yes, sir.
How did you go about analyzing that section of roadway?
The same thing with Mr. Spivey's data. Highest is 98.74 miles an hour. Average 69.316 miles an hour. lowest 21.06.
How about Mr. Boyd's truck?
I tried to use the 911 call
How?
based on when he was passing points in his, when he would say he was at Marlowe Circle. So I used Marlowe Circle as a starting point, hit the time. I knew the distance from Marlowe Circle to Camp Swamp. And when he said he was turning into Camp Swamp, that was approximately 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So I took 2 minutes and 40 seconds and the time and the distance, and it came out to roughly 59 miles an hour.
And was there a period of time that you added a factor of seconds based upon any other factors?
As he was turning, there was roughly about a 5, 6, 7 second time there that was kind of accounted for.
So to make sure we understand, there was a 5, 6, 7 time frame.
Yes.
Between the time that Mr. Boyd said the 911 call, Spivey turned, and when he turned. Is that right?
Correct.
And so would it be fair to say if there was additional time for Mr. Boyd to get to that road to turn, then his average speed would be lower than Mr. Spivey's? Is that what you're saying?
Possibly. Yes, sir.
Okay. And so what did you come up with when you factored in that?
It's still about the same. It's right. 50. It's 10 miles an hour slower than.
Who's 10 miles an hour slower than who?
Weldon Boyd's was 10 miles an hour slower than Scott Spivey's.
In that distance between Marlowe Circle and Camp Swamp Road?
Yes.
Now, is it fair to say when you look at these maps that if Mr. Spivey was running 100 miles an hour, 113 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour, that Mr. Boyd necessarily had to be running that fast to get to Camp Swamp Road 5, 6, 7 seconds behind Mr. Spivey?
No.
Okay. All right. And the next pages, would it be fair to say, because I want to speed this up, that you use different geographic points and you undertook the same analysis for Mr. Spivey's truck and Mr. Boyd's truck when you could? Is that fair to say?
I did.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Davis. I don't have any further questions for you. I'm sorry, I did have a question. If you don't mind, Ronnie.
Go ahead, come on.
Did you look at the... Let me ask you this. Do you know what the other white truck is?
Yes. There's a Ford. I think it's a Ford F-150, extended cab white.
Okay. And did you see it in the photographs you online?
I seen it in the Minuteman videos, and I also saw it in the fireworks.
Were you able to form an opinion about whether this other white truck was running at a higher or lower average road speed than Mr. Boyd?
Average speed of the white truck from Minuteman to the fireworks store was 80.1 miles an hour.
And that wasn't Mr. Boyd or Mr. Spivey's truck?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, morning.
Morning.
Your event G, I think I saw, I couldn't quite see. That's the last point where you're talking about the lane change, right, going into Camp Swamp. Did he take them from you?
No, give him to it.
Yep, event G. You agree with me that that lane change could just as easily be explained by two armed people on your ass chasing you while you're terrified, and you wait to the last second to turn to go home to try to evade them, right?
Possibly, yes, sir.
Yes. Now, hold up. I just want you to verify, because we got somebody here from Horry County interested in going in a minute. This is Horry County, zoom in here, right? Fire and rescue. And will you confirm for me that, at least right there in front of it, Mr. Spivey's going 82 miles an hour, correct?
Yes, sir.
And 5 seconds before that, each one of those dots is a second, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if we go 5 seconds before that, he's going 78.8, right?
Yes, sir.
And then go the other way. 5 seconds after is when they begin to really accelerate. He's going 91, right? Keep going. That's why I printed them, Judge.
I'm gonna take the question based on one word today, and it's, stated on one digit phone.
Can you get it with it?
You can rephrase the question if you like.
It just catches up. It takes a second.
After that is when we see 100 for an extended period of time up to 113, right?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Anything else?
Thank you.
All right. You can step down. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Lawson, were you intending on introducing all 3 pages or just one?
All three.
Okay. I'm gonna add my two to it, and ask Cynthia to clip them together for Exhibit 69.
Thank you.
Bradley Williams, come around this
All right, let's take a break before we testify. I think that's a good idea. I'll ask who's next week. Yes, they did, and then we broke before they got him up here. All right, y'all call Mr. Williams. Come around and be sworn.
Put your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give the court in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So we go.
Watch your step. Have a seat. Speaking from the Bible, state your name for the record.
Kenneth Williams.
Bradley?
Kenneth Bradley Williams.
Bradley Williams. All right, Bradley, let's talk to the judge about what happened on September 9th from your viewpoint. Getting into that, let's give the court a little bit of background on you. How old are you, Bradley?
36.
Are you married?
Yes, sir.
All right, now, I want to be sure you speak up so we can hear you. You talk softly, so, and kind of look at his honor. He's, I guess, the one that matters.
I'll do this.
You're married?
Yes, sir.
How many children?
One.
Boy, girl?
Who's a boy?
Age?
15.
And where did you grow up, Bradley?
I grew up in Sherrill, South Carolina, and then moved from Florence to Darlington.
Florence to Darlington.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how long have you lived where you currently live?
Many years.
All right. And what kind of work do you do?
I'm a heavy equipment mechanic.
And how long have you worked with the company you're with now?
Going on 14 years at the same location.
14 years. And that's there in Hartsville or Darlington?
It's in Florence.
Florence. Okay. And how did you get to know Weldon Boyd?
Me and Weldon went to school together back in 2008, I believe.
All right. And that's where you met him, and you've known him since that time?
Yes, sir.
And you would characterize him as a friend of yours?
Yes, sir.
All right. And did you, by any chance, know Scott Spivey for the record?
No, sir.
All right. Did you know anybody that knew Scott Spivey?
No, sir.
Any reason for there to be any antagonism between you and Scott Spivey on September the 9th of 23?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. So what were you doing in Horry County on that day?
I came down to help Weldon prepare for a friends and family event that he was having the following day.
All right. And when did you come down?
Sir?
When did you come down?
Saturday midday morning, somewhere in that area.
All right.
Earlier that day.
Early. And where did you meet Weldon?
I met him at his farm.
And did you and he travel to Tractor Supply together?
Yes, sir. We ran several errands that day.
Several areas?
Errands.
Okay. All right. Now, did you have a gun with you that day?
I did.
Bradley?
Yes, sir.
All right. And it was in Weldon's truck when you guys were at Tractor Supply?
It was in my bag, yes.
The bag was in the truck?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. And you guys were going to, when you left Tractor Supply, go to Weldon's farm?
Correct.
All right. Now, as you left Tractor Supply, and I know you're not from here, you may not know the roads as good as some of us, or even the judge does, but let's walk through what happened that afternoon on the roadway, okay?
Okay.
All right. And Judge, let me say there's a lot of exhibits and different things. I'm going to try to minimize the use of them because I think you've seen everything. But if there's anything that you, as I'm questioning him, I've noticed you're not bashful to just break in and ask a question, and I'm good with that.
All right.
All right. Now, so you guys are headed to Loris, and you're riding in the front seat with the passenger side, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And what was the first contact that you had with Scott Spivey that you recall? How did he come to your attention?
I noticed him when his truck got really close beside us, and that's what caught my attention. And as I looked over, he was pointing the gun at me.
All right, now, with you, what was, and you took some photographs, right?
Later on, yeah.
Later on. But at that time, you didn't take a photograph of that.
No, sir.
Was the gun being held out the window, propped up, or brandished, or was it pointed directly at you?
It was pointed directly at me.
All right. Did you say anything to Weldon, or did Weldon see that before you had a chance to mention it?
No, I yelled at Weldon.
You up, Weldon. All right. And from that point on, now, we said that, so where was that? There's been some testimony about Weldon sending a text up by Bell and Bell, and immediately thereafter, contact with Spivey. Now, the maps we've got don't indicate that, but in your recollection, where was that gun pointing event with you?
Well, I do not know the area that well, but I do know it was after the river and before 905.
All right. Is what you see here on exhibit, what is this?
Exhibit 63.
53. Where we got
63.
Yeah. Where we got Blaze Ward's 911 calls, Spivey forces Weldon off the road. Those were things that happened shortly after that. He pointed the gun at you, correct?
Correct.
So all of this would have happened in that stretch of road
Yes.
between the river and 905.
Correct.
All right. And before that time, you had not seen Mr. Spivey.
No, sir.
And you didn't see him, of course, you guys didn't go past Bell and Bell because you had left Tractor Supply and turned on number 9, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, and you had driven a few miles before this started, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So if you would tell the judge, after he pointed the gun at you, over the next mile or two, describe the driving of Mr. Spivey.
He was driving very erratic. The first time I seen him, he was pointing a gun at me. I exclaimed to Weldon. I said other words, but I'm going to skip that. He was driving erratic. He would jump in front of us. He would start slamming on the brakes, speed back off, slam on the brakes again. He ran us off the road. The whole time he's doing this, he's also pointing the gun at other people, pointing the gun at us, waving the gun out the window. It was madness.
And to your recollection, where were you guys, or when was it that you decided to take some photographs of him?
I believe I started taking pictures around 905 area and afterwards.
905 and
Well,
after.
in that general area.
And the judge has seen these, but since you took them, I want you to look through these, which is Exhibit 35. (35A), 35O, and 35P. And take a look at those and see if those are photographs that you took.
These are all my pictures, yes.
Okay. And Judge, I know you have seen these, but there they are again. And you took those pictures because his conduct was scary, and you wanted to have pictures as proof that he was pointing the gun, right?
Exactly. I wanted the license plate of the truck and a picture with the gun out the window.
Now, up to this point in time, had you done anything to antagonize Mr. Spivey?
No, sir.
And at the time he pulled up beside you, the first contact you had was the pointing of the gun in the truck at you?
Yes, sir.
All right. And then, so you go on and you go through 905 and you guys are following or again, traveling down Highway 9, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, and was there at some point in time when you saw a white truck of some sort?
Yeah, eventually a white truck did appear.
Maybe, I think, somebody, Mr.
Surveyor.
Davis, surveyor, testified that it might have been or was a white Ford 250 pickup.
I can't testify to the brand and the make of it, but I know it was a white truck.
It was a white truck.
Yes, sir.
What did you observe between the white truck and Mr. Spivey as they traveled ahead of you guys?
The same erratic behavior, darting in and out of the lanes, cutting each other off, racing off together.
And again, you're riding Weldon and you're traveling behind those two trucks at that time.
Yes, sir.
You have any idea how fast you and Weldon got between 905 and Camp Swamp Road?
No, sir, I don't.
Do what?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay. All right. You paying more attention to Mr. Spivey and the gun than the speed?
That's all my focus.
All right. And tell the court what you saw as you approached Camp Swamp Road.
As we were coming up and approaching, we were still riding along. I had no idea that there was a turn about to happen or anything like that. The white truck that was instigated, or that Spivey and the white truck were initiating with each other, the white truck turned right down Camp Swamp Road, followed by Spivey. He crossed over the lane turning onto Camp Swamp Road. And as we approached, we were calling out the name of the road.
All right, and if you would, with a little more detail, okay, as the white truck and Mr. Spivey are approaching Camp Swamp Road, the white truck is in the right lane, turn lane?
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes.
And Mr. Spivey's truck is
in the left lane.
in the left lane. He was not following him, he was in the left lane.
Yeah, they were pretty much side by side.
All right. And so the white truck made a turn, and then your testimony was that Mr. Spivey abruptly changed lanes and turned almost directly into Camp Swamp Road.
Yes, sir.
Did it give you the impression that he was at that time had his attention on the white truck?
Yeah, it looked like they two were actually chasing each other.
All right. After they turned on the Camp Swamp Road, did you see the white truck anymore?
No, I did not.
Did you see Mr. Spivey's truck?
No, sir.
And so when you and Weldon approached Camp Swamp Road,
Yes, sir.
tell the judge what happened.
As we came up to the road and, Weldon's calling out the name of the road and we're starting to make that turn, I noticed Spivey's truck with the brake lights on, and as we completed that turn, Spivey's truck was already stopped and he was getting out of the truck.
All right. Now, we didn't talk about, but just to confirm, you were in the truck with Weldon when he had called 911.
Yes, sir.
All right. And we've all heard the 911 tape. You don't want to hear it again, I don't reckon, do you, Judge? Okay. But on that call, Weldon was asking them to get the police out there to you guys,
Yes,
right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
That was the whole intent.
And when he turned on the Camp Swamp Road, and you see the white truck, you see Mr. Spivey's black truck. Mm-hmm. All right. If you would tell the judge what happened in the seconds after that.
Spivey stepped out of his truck with the gun in his hand. He looked angry. He was throwing his hands up, yelling at us. We have no idea what he was saying to us. We have already came to a stop at this point. He stepped wide from his vehicle across the yellow lane, and then he was still making some type of gestures, but he stepped wide from his truck and then started to walk from his door back to the rear of his truck. In the process of this, he had already racked the slide of his gun, and he had pulled his gun up and he had shot at us.
Now,
And just to add, the best way I can explain this is everything happened very fast. It's a very fluid situation. There's no way I can timestamp how it happened. Everything was happening at one time. There's more than one thing going on at the same time.
all right. And when Mr. Spivey, you said was walking towards the back of his truck, that then would have been walking in the direction of Weldon's truck?
Correct. Towards us.
All right. Now, you obviously had a gun with you.
Yes, sir.
And when did you get your gun out?
After Spivey racked the slide of his gun, I began to yell at Weldon to back up, and that's when I reached for my gun.
So you asked Weldon to back up.
Yes, sir.
I know the answer, but I want you to tell the judge why.
Because I didn't want to be in a gunfight. I didn't want to be in that type of situation.
Were you fearful at that time?
Yes, sir.
And so your immediate words without much thought was back up, Weldon, back up.
Correct.
All right. And at that point in time, which is in the seconds before you or Weldon shoot the gun, are you in fear for your life?
Absolutely.
Do you believe any reasonable man would have been in fear for his life?
Yes, sir, I do.
And in your words, why did you shoot when you shot?
Because I had no other option.
Other than what?
There was nothing else I could do. I can't retreat. I can't get out. I'm there.
You already asked Weldon to back up.
Yes, sir.
And this is happening very quickly.
Yes.
All right, now, is there any question at all that Mr. Spivey stopped the truck quickly?
He did.
That he jumped out?
He did.
That he had a gun in his hand?
He did.
That he was yelling?
Yes.
That he appeared angry and agitated?
Yes, sir.
And that he was moving towards your truck?
Yes, sir.
And this was the same guy who had pointed the gun at you several miles back up the road?
Yes, sir.
So when you fired the first shot that you fired, all right, Mr. Spivey was clearly in the truck or outside the truck?
He was outside of the vehicle.
All right. And when you started to fire your gun, did you fire it rapidly?
Yes, sir.
And at some point in time, did Mr. Spivey get back in his truck?
He did.
All right. Do you know whether he had been wounded or not?
I did not.
Would you demonstrate for the judge how, and stand up if you would, how Mr. Spivey was holding the gun, and you said he at some point in time he pointed at you guys?
Yes, sir.
All right, if you would, with your arm, show the judge how he was, his posture towards you guys, and how his arm was at the time you shot.
So you want me to just show you?
No, you can do it right there. You can do it. Just turn to the judge and.
Well, he got out of the truck, raises his hands, gun in the hand. He does like a really exaggerated rack of the slide. The gun comes up and he shoots. I can't tell you exact angles and all that. Everything's happening very fast. But he does a very exaggerated wide swing.
And if you're where you stand now sitting in your truck, would it be your recollection that when he came around with that gun, that he had his right arm raised and the gun pointed at you guys.
Yes, sir.
At some point in time, did he go back to his truck?
He did.
Did he put his arm down to walk back to his truck?
No, sir, he did not. The gun stayed on us the entire time until he got back to the truck.
And the manner, if he's facing you guys when the shooting starts and he goes back, does he turn to the right, to the left towards his truck? In other words, what's that?
He's
Here's
going
what
to
man-
his truck like this.
Yeah, and is his
He's going this
arm-
way, his gun's that way.
All right. His armpit is exposed to you.
I believe so, yes, because his arm would have been up.
All right. But he does go back and he gets back in the truck.
Yes, sir, he does.
All right. And there is shooting certainly before he goes back into the truck. Is there shooting after the truck? After he gets back in the truck?
Yes, sir.
All right. And at some point in time, did you, well, let me go back and ask you this way. Was Mr. Spivey shooting at you and Weldon in your truck after he got back in the truck?
Yes, sir.
And you could tell that because you could see him and what?
Because I can see it.
All right. Of course, when you saw, and I say saw because that's the way you describe it, the first shot that was fired, how did you know that he had fired?
Because I could see the report from the gun. I could see the action. Can I sit down? No. I could see the report from the gun. I could see the action. I mean, I can see that the gun has gone off.
And you could see much better than you could hear if you could hear at all.
Correct.
And you and or Weldon shot back simultaneously almost?
I believe so,
Or was
yes.
there a big gap of time between his shot and your shots?
No, we were very close together.
All of them were very close together.
Yes, sir.
And so you emptied a magazine.
I did.
All right. And so that would have, so you would have shot a lot of times. Why did you continue to shoot rather than just shoot one time and stop?
Because he was still a threat.
He was still a threat. You a concealed weapon holder?
Permit? Yes, sir.
A concealed weapon permit holder.
Yes, sir.
Right? You have to take a class to get that.
Yes, sir.
You don't have to do that to get a hunting license, do you?
No, sir.
Or to buy an AR-15, do you?
No, sir.
Okay. But you got to get that concealed weapon, and they teach you how to shoot a gun, what to do about a gun, and they talk about self-defense, don't they?
Yes, sir.
All right. And in that class that you take that is given by the state of South Carolina, do they tell you that you should continue to shoot until the danger is gone?
Yes.
Is that what you were doing?
Yes.
Do they tell you that you don't have to wait for your adversary to get the drop on you?
They do.
But you didn't immediately shoot when you saw him with a gun, did
No, I
you?
didn't.
Did that scare you?
That startled me, yes.
Were you hopeful that Weldon could back up?
Yes, yes.
All right. Well, but you were pulling a trailer.
Yeah, we were.
All right. And of course, all of this is on the 911 call.
Yes, sir, I believe so.
And while I'm talking about the 911 call, let me divert 1 minute and ask you this. As you guys are traveling down Highway 9 and Weldon's on the phone with 911, we played it on the screen yesterday with you telling Weldon to slow down. You remember that?
I do.
All right. Judge, you don't want me to play that again? No. All right. And so why were you telling him to slow down?
Because I didn't want to be next to the man with the gun. It's not that Weldon scared me at his speed or anything, but Spivey had been driving erratic. He kept tapping her brakes, and I think shortly after that he swerved at us. But I didn't want to be close to him. I wanted to see him because I wanted the police to get him, but I did not want to be close to him.
You didn't want to arrest him yourself, did you?
No.
Okay. And so your idea, you did not want an encounter with Mr. Spivey, did you?
No, sir.
You didn't know he was gonna turn down Camp Swamp Road,
I had no
did
idea.
you? And of course, while I was in, you weren't driving any of this time, were you?
No, sir, I wasn't.
Was there ever an agreement between you and Weldon for Weldon to drive whatever speed he drove, or to call 911, or any of that?
There was no discussion.
You are along for the ride at this point in time, correct?
That's right.
All right. You ever suggested to turn down Camp Swamp Road?
No, sir.
And then since you weren't driving, you didn't go down Camp Swamp Road
Only as a passenger.
as a passenger. And by the time Weldon gets his truck stopped, you are faced with Mr. Spivey out of his truck, angrily moving around with a pistol in his hand.
That is correct.
All right. Anything about what was happening there that did not scare the hell out of you?
There was a lot that scared the hell out of me.
And Mr. Spivey, again, this is rhetorical, but I want the record to reflect, he didn't get out with a white flag.
No. He got out with a gun in his
He
hand.
got out with a gun. Did he do anything at all that made you think that he wanted to kiss and make up?
No, sir.
Few more questions for you, Bradley. When you testified earlier about the white truck and Mr. Spivey moving on out ahead of you guys, do you believe and you've been sitting here in the courtroom listening to all the testimony and all of that, is that when you believe that Mr. Spivey reached his speeds of 100 miles per hour plus?
I do believe so, because those two trucks sped off away from us until they hit another pocket of traffic.
Okay. Did that have any appearances at all of his trying to run away from you or Weldon, or did it appear more he's trying to tangle with the white truck?
The white truck and him were intertangled.
Okay. Did you do anything at all to bring on this exchange of gunfire?
No, sir.
You and Weldon had identical guns,
They're very similar, yes.
and they were the same model and make, right?
Yes, sir.
And what model and make were they?
Shadow Systems MR920s, 9 millimeters, compact, 15 rounds.
All right. And they're both the same caliber?
Yes, sir.
They fire the same ammunition?
Yes, sir.
And when you say there were some difference in them, it seemed like you may have had a sight on yours, but
Yeah, I believe we both had red dots. Mine had a red dot and a flashlight in the comp.
and your gun was zeroed in at
7 yards.
7 yards. And what does that mean, zeroed in?
The point of aim to point of impact is at 7 yards between the bullet and the the site.
All right. And the distance between you and Mr. Spivey's truck, you have learned since all of this event, was a little over 25 yards. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you at no time, again, I know it's a rhetorical question, but you didn't get out of your truck to get closer to him so you'd have a better chance of hitting him, did you?
No.
You didn't have time to because he raised his gun and shot.
That is correct.
Or it certainly appeared to you that he was shooting at you.
He shot.
All right. And instead of telling Weldon, get closer so we can get a better shot, you were saying, back up, back up, back up. Now, through all of this, you have heard that several people call 911, correct?
Yes, sir, I have.
Have you heard any phone calls that Mr. Spivey made to 911?
Not that I'm aware.
And if he had been scared or terrified, there's a lot of businesses along Highway 9 between there at 905 and between 905 and Camp Swamp Road, isn't there?
Yeah, I believe so.
And there is, in fact, an EMS Horry County office along that stretch of road, isn't there?
I believe so, looking at the maps.
Plenty of places that he could have pulled off to seek help if he were scared.
Okay.
When he got out of the truck there on Camp Swamp Road, did he act like he was scared?
No, he was mad. He was pissed off at the world.
Did you see anything in the roadway? Of course, Mr. McMorris testified there wasn't, but did you see anything in the roadway that would have caused him to have to stop?
No.
He stopped, as far as you can tell, because he wanted to stop.
Yes, sir.
Do you feel like, as you look back on it, that you might have been ambushed?
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like.
Did you do anything that day to start this trouble,
No,
Bradley?
nothing.
Were you looking for trouble that day?
No, I was supposed to be going to the farm.
You've never been involved in a shootout in your life, have you?
I have not.
Never shot at anybody in your life, have you?
No, sir.
You're sorry that all of this happened, Bradley?
I hate that it happened, yes.
And you did what you did because you were trying to be sure that you didn't get killed.
That is correct.
And on those 911 calls, after this has happened, you can be heard, it appears, to say something like, Weldon, why in the F couldn't you leave him alone?
Yeah,
You said that, didn't you?
I did say that.
All right. Was that a thought out, a spontaneous statement, or what was that?
That was directly after the shooting had stopped. I am scared to death. I didn't want what just happened to have happened. I didn't want to be in that situation. I was scared.
Couple other questions. There was a lull in the shooting after Mr. Spivey got back in the truck. Is that correct?
You said a what?
A lull, a brief time when
Yeah.
instead of bam, 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 there was silence and then there was more shots, right?
Yes, sir. He got back in his truck and I stopped shooting. I did reload my gun while he did get back in his truck, but I did not shoot back at him until we know that he shot back at us from his truck.
So he clearly shot back and that's when you shot again.
Yeah, a few more times, yes.
And of course, you're watching him, you're not watching Weldon to see what he's doing or what he's shooting or whatever.
I'm not paying attention to Weldon.
All right. And when you made the statement that why couldn't you leave him alone, that was not a condemnation of what Weldon had done. It was just a thought that was in your mind that came out at the time.
That's not a fair question.
It's not.
No. It was a great example of a perfectly leading question.
Well, we've been doing a lot of leading here.
Yeah, well, that's about the worst one I heard. Or the best one I heard.
Best one.
Whichever
I
one
like
you want,
that
great.
better. I like that better. I like that better.
In regards to Weldon, I said what I said at that moment, but I don't disagree with what Weldon did. I didn't see what he was doing wrong. He called the police to let them know that the man with the gun is acting crazy.
And he needed to
be
got
taken off the road.
Didn't he?
Yeah, he's a danger to everybody around him.
And you thought that even you, to some extent, had a social duty to try to get the police to get this guy off the road.
Yeah, that's what needed to happen. That's the whole point.
That's all the questions I have.
All right, same pattern did last. Mr. Tinsley.
So your testimony today is essentially that what you just said is that Scott Spivey was a danger to everybody, and you all recognized that immediately, right?
Yeah, he's got a gun.
That's right. He got a gun, and you say he pointed it at you, but you didn't think it was enough of a threat in that moment to shoot him then, did you?
It just happened.
You did not shoot him at that point in time, did you?
I did not.
And after that, it wasn't pointed at you, was it?
It had pointed at us numerous times down Highway 9.
Well, you didn't get any photos of that, did you?
I did not.
Once he got in front of you, and you agreed, and you testified to this previously, once Scott Spivey's truck got in front of the truck in which you were riding, he was always in front of you.
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
Yeah. And so, again, in terms of an imminent threat to you, in the moment when he points the gun, according to you, he went on by and you didn't shoot, right?
I did not shoot at him on Highway 9, that is correct.
So there was a lot that scared you that day, is what you said today, because this was a long encounter, right?
That was fairly long and fairly short at the same time, yes.
Well, and it went on for a fairly long time before you all finally decided, or Mr. Boyd called 911, right?
Well, at the beginning, after he had pointed the gun at me and he has gotten in front of us, there was multiple points where he was brake checking us. He ran us off the road.
Did you understand my question?
I must not have. Can you repeat it, please?
Yes. You all interacted with Scott Spivey for a long distance before 911 was called.
I don't believe it was that long, sir.
Okay. You heard the 911 call. Weldon Boyd told the dispatcher that you had your guns out too, at the very beginning of the call.
He did say that, but at no point did I ever pull my gun out of my bag or out of my holster, and as far as I know, I've never seen Weldon's gun.
And your testimony is that your bag with big zipper backpack, and then somewhere down inside of that was your gun in a holster.
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Now, Mr. Martin asked you, did you do anything to encourage this? At no point did you tell Weldon to stop? Did you?
There was nothing to tell him to stop doing.
That's right, because you were in full agreement with what he was doing.
Calling the police, yes.
Well, you were in full agreement with the way he was pursuing and the pursuit that you all made.
He called the police.
Go to 38. Deposition.
Weldon, from stopping before on the Camp Swamp Road?
No.
Were you in full agreement with the idea to pursue Scott Spivey?
To follow him, yes.
You didn't voice any objection because you didn't have one. Is that fair?
I didn't see anything wrong as far as what Weldon was doing. He was calling 911 and following direction.
There was nothing that kept Weldon from stopping before you all turned on the Camp Swamp Road, right?
No.
There was nothing in this entire encounter with our 1,000 data points. It's about 1,000 points.
Okay.
At any point in time, you all could have stopped because you had his license plate from jump, right? The very beginning.
Why should we have to stop?
Well, that's right, because y'all are heroes in chasing this bad guy down, right?
Right.
Okay.
Why did he stop?
Well, I assume he stopped because of this mysterious white truck you all say he's engaged in, but the reality is that he was being chased by two people with their guns out.
No guns were out.
All right. Two people chased you with guns out for an extended period of time. You believe you have a right to defend yourself, don't you?
Can you repeat that one more time?
If two people with guns out chase you at more than 100 miles an hour for a significant length of time, be it 4.6 miles, 9 miles, 1 mile, you would have a right to defend yourself, would you not?
But that's not what happened.
But you agree with me that you would object?
I do not agree.
Please answer the question. That's fine.
Sustain that objection.
Now, you said to Mr. Martin in the slow down part was that you were telling Weldon to slow down because you didn't want to be close to Scott Spivey's vehicle, and at that point he was getting close to Scott's vehicle, correct?
That was also around the time when Spivey was tapping his brakes, yeah.
Yeah. It was right after the 113 mile an hour stretch, right?
No, I believe that would be before. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I really don't know.
That's fine. Weldon was angry when Scott ran him into the median, wasn't he?
Who's happy to be ran off the road?
So the answer is yes, as you testified under oath previously, correct?
Yeah, who wouldn't be mad?
Okay. And you agree that Weldon exceeded the speed limit after that point in time?
Yeah, I do agree with that. Yeah.
Now, you and Weldon used Messenger to communicate, correct?
Yes.
And you saw Mr. Boyd testify in his deposition that he did not tell you to delete any Facebook messages, right?
I didn't see that.
You were sitting at the table.
I was about to fall asleep.
Okay. He did ask you to delete Facebook messages, right?
He did.
And based on his instruction, you did that, correct?
I did.
Now, go to audio 7. $851, 36, 42, 25.
up with 911, I looked over at Bradley, and Bradley he had this look on his face, and he was just staring. And I said, Bradley? And he didn't look at me. I said, Bradley. And he looked at me. I said, check yourself. And he checked his stomach and everything. I said, you good? And he was like, yeah, I'm good. And I said, you did good. And he just kind of stared at me, and then he just kind of looked back at the truck.
Well, Bradley's never been in a firefight, so.
Well, he fucking did amazing. And I sent him a message last night and told him that. I said, you got in the fight, you stayed in the fight, you didn't ask questions, and you didn't hesitate. I said, you're a fucking warrior. And he did. He got right in that fight, and he fucking fought it out. And he did not stop until it was over.
He sent you a number of messages about what happened that night on Messenger, didn't he?
No.
He sent you that one, didn't he? What he's talking about there, he sent you where?
Well, there was brief communication from a few days after, but there was nothing in there what I considered important, or nothing I was hiding from the police or anything like that.
Okay, I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
How about do this? How about first pull up the text? So you saw me do this yesterday when we pulled up all the texts that were downloaded.
Sure.
And what we can do here is we can put your phone number in there and find all the texts that were sent to you. And this is all the texts that are on this phone from September the 9th till the phones were collected by Mr. Moss on, I think, September the 13th. Right?
I'm not sure. I handed mine to
You don't have any reason to dispute that.
I handed mine to Robert E. Lee.
That's your phone number, 1843, that one right there that's highlighted?
Yes, sir.
All right. And that 9078, that's the code to the gate at the farm, correct?
I believe so, yes.
He sent that to you at what time?
Where's the time? 14:51.
Okay. And that's about what time you said you got to the farm, right?
Sure. I'm not sure.
And that's the only text message that's on those phones from Mr. Boyd to you, assuming that when we do control F, it finds yours. You have any reason to dispute that?
No.
Nothing in that about you being a fucking warrior and getting in the fight and staying in the fight, is there?
No, sir.
You all talked about on Messenger the bullet holes because you were very concerned about the bullet holes, weren't you? In the back of Mr. Spivey's truck.
No, I was just examining what we saw.
In the Messenger chat, correct?
Yeah, it was in Messenger.
For the 48, audio 48? 91? 12, 14.
That's a shot. That's why I texted you and said, this was him shooting at us.
That was in Messenger where you're all talking about it, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Now we'll play audio 73. And for the record, that call that you just heard was September the 12th at 7:51 p.m.
And the only reason we had the roller with us was because we were going to put a different trigger in it that night.
Now he's telling you right here why it is and what you're supposed to be saying to the police, correct?
I don't know what this is.
Well, play the whole call.
Yeah, play it.
Hey, a couple of things. Go back on Facebook and just delete our chat again between you and I, and then if they ask, me and you just talk through the JR, me, you, and chat, or we text or call each other. Second thing is the upper and lower were separated, and the only reason we had the lower with us was because we were going to put a different trigger in it that night. The last thing is the family's furious that they didn't seize their phones. So Ken's trying to work it out. The superiors are saying, well, we're going to need to do a data dump, and Ken's telling them that they're not privy to a data dump. So there's a war over the phones right now. What Ken's trying to work out is, because the family's saying that there's pictures we withheld from the investigation, which is a lie. So Ken's trying to arrange it where the detective can we hand our phone to the detective, he can look through and check, make sure all the pictures that we got are the ones that he was given to, which they were. But Ken's going to fight them on this data dump shit, because our internet search history, our banking information, all that other crap is none of their business.
Yeah, okay, so as far as the pictures, do they have the pictures that you took?
Yeah, there's a few that they don't have, but I explained to Ken this because it's the truck 100 yards ahead of us in blurry. It's not relevant. There's nothing, but
After the incident?
yes, they got the picture where he slumped over. Ken had all that.
Okay, so I ain't got to worry about deleting those.
No, you don't. I don't delete any pictures. I mean, and we provided what were relevant. If they say, well, we wanted the picture of the truck 100 yards up the road also, okay, well, there it is. I didn't delete it.
Okay. Well, just delete the Facebook comment.
And then just say that that we were going to put a trigger in the lower, and that upper was there. We just had the can on it. I mean, it was separated. That gun had not been assembled. Because you can have a lower and an upper ready to go with the intention of filing for a Form 1 and not assembling them, right?
Yeah, it's because they're nitty-gritty attempt to use action.
Yeah.
That was the issue. It was not, let's be honest, configuration because it was not together. But they're right beside each other. I mean, they're in the same department, same place.
Yeah, we'll be able to fight that off. Then the family was furious about, some of the cops were even confused that we had flashbangs, and that was a crime. And the detective was told those are not real flashbangs; those are airsoft fireworks.
On there.
Yeah.
They're labeled that way.
So this is the family. The family is doing all they can, and
All I gotta say is we play airsoft.
yeah, we got airsoft guns.
How we do?
So, and Ken even said that Alan's getting sick of this now. So
Who's out?
that's the detective.
That's the main guy we talk to.
Yeah, Ken said he's getting sick of this shit. He's ready to close it out. So
Now, who actually closes it out?
Jimmy Richardson.
Okay. All right.
So just delete that one thing, and then we'll let you know what to do.
All right.
And you did, right?
I deleted the Facebook page.
And you knew that the family wanted those phones, were trying to get this information, because he told you that, correct?
He just said delete the Facebook convo because he didn't want the information that he sent before this incident. He didn't want any of that leaked out.
I think we all heard the conversation. How about the audio 48, 111, 6 through 112, 10.
witness did show up this morning, and that witness is completely against us. Yeah, and Ken did bring that to my attention. I didn't tell you about it because he said give it a couple hours because the tech's going to look into it. And the guy called Ken back later this afternoon and told Ken she's pretty much saying that the guy had a gun in his hand and was hollering at him to leave him alone, and they just started shooting and gunning him down. But he said, but what she's saying makes no sense because you got 5 other witnesses that tell a completely different story, and hers just comes out of nowhere, out of the woodworks, and she can't even, I don't think she could even, like, specifically explain where she was at the time, whether she was passing by on 9, so they disregarded it. It'll go in the report, but it doesn't match the other 5, so it's not relevant. It's not plausible.
When he told you that there was a witness that said that Scott Spivey got out of his truck, was yelling at you, and then you all opened fire on him, your response was, "Oh God." Right? It didn't happen.
That was just a sarcastic remark.
Okay. And then your next concern was whether or not that information was going to make it into the report.
I was just curious. I don't know how any of this works.
You were relying on Weldon through the police to handle this, right?
Well, Weldon would call me, I would answer the phone, and we would chat.
You know that if this had happened somewhere else in a different agency, it would have been a different result, don't you?
Object.
I'm sorry.
Obviously, he can't know that.
Well, hold on just a second now. I'm sorry, I didn't hear his answer.
I don't think that's a fair question to him. He's a mechanic.
Yes. Give me 1 second. Go to 108, 17 through 109, 55.
A lot of my friends worked for us. We definitely did. Because had this been reversed, had we been in Brunswick County, had we been in his county where he lives, this would have been over. So.
You do believe so? It would have been different, right?
It's difficult regardless.
That was September the 12th, 2023 at 7:51 p.m. And you didn't think anybody was listening, right?
I had no idea it was being recorded.
Yeah, that's right. Want you to go to the 911 call, please? 6, line 1 through 7, line 7.
Dude, I don't know. All right, so he's coming onto Camp Swamp Road. Camp Swamp Road. He's stopping. He's stopping. Hey, we're about to have a fucking shootout, dude. This dude's got a gun. He's got a fucking gun. We're at, hey, running back up. I can't put it in gear. Put it.
pulse was after a whole bunch of shots, right?
Yes. You talk when you could hear my gun moving around?
The click,
Yeah.
you or him, one was out at that point, right?
I ran out.
And in that moment, the first thing you said was, why couldn't you leave him alone? That's what you said, right?
No, that was after.
Immediately after the shooting. The first-
Immediately after shoot. I've already explained that with Mark.
You knew Weldon put you in this position, didn't you?
I did not want what had just happened to have happened.
Mr.
That's
Williams,
what I'm trying to. I'm yelling at him to back up, back up.
I asked you about whether or not he made that statement to you during your deposition, and you told me you didn't think he did, right?
I haven't listened to it. I didn't. At the time, I did not remember saying that, and then to this day, I don't remember saying it. But I'm well aware that I did.
And you didn't remember him telling you, when I took your deposition, that he had a fucking blast?
No, I didn't know there was any phone calls recorded until after my deposition. Or I didn't go and listen to them until after the deposition.
Well, I understand that you didn't know when you testified under oath that there were phone calls. That was not my question. I asked you, did he tell you he had a fucking blast, and then did y'all joke about getting teardrop tattoos, and you said you didn't recall?
Yeah, I mean, it's not uncommon for us to make dark jokes or sarcastic remarks.
But you did agree that it would have been so shocking that if he had uttered those words, you would have recalled it, right?
I don't remember. But on face value, that does sound terrible. It does.
I'm happy to play you saying those words. You don't disagree that when I asked you under oath, you told me you didn't remember it, and if he had said it, it would have been shocking and you would have remembered it, right?
And that is true.
Okay. You've been watching while this trial's been going on, correct?
Yeah, here and there.
So this is the sketch that Detective Tomasi drew on. If it's not in evidence.
It's a page number out of her report.
Well, how about this? I'm just going to mark it as the next plaintiff's exhibit, so we have this because Mr. Boyd marked on it yesterday.
That's fine, because there's an unmarked copy in her report.
Okay, so I'm going to mark this one as 23.
And I think there may be a 11 by 17 copy of it somewhere. That's bigger.
Now, you told me in your deposition that when Scott was standing at his door, based on where you were sitting, you couldn't see him. His body was obscured, right?
I believe I want to say he stepped wide or stepped over the yellow line.
We're going to get to that, but you agree with me, when he's right there in the door, you can't see him because it's a jacked up truck and your angle is such that what you said was you can't see him until he steps into the oncoming lane.
I don't believe I said that.
Okay. Pull up. Let's do. Page 31. Page 30. You got through.
Out of the vehicle at that point?
Yes.
And is he advancing, to use Weldon's word?
At that point, he has already grabbed the gun and aimed it at us when I was yelling at Weldon to back up, back up.
Okay. So when that happens, is he, like Weldon said, at the back of the truck?
I can't say he made it all the way to the back of the truck, but I can say that he advanced from the door, but I can't remember if he made it to the end of the truck, like Weldon said. Because I can't see him his full body.
That's my next question. Does he ever come far enough towards you, away from his door, where you can see his full body?
When he stepped out into the oncoming lane, I could see his whole body.
Okay. So when does that happen?
After he steps out of the truck. He steps out of the truck with a gun in his hand. He starts mouthing off. We don't know what he's saying. He racks the slide, over-exaggerated, rack of the slide. He brings it forward, he points, and he shoots. But as he's mouthing off, when he gets out of the truck, he does a sidestep into the oncoming lane and then advances back towards us.
Okay. And he's in the oncoming lane when he's doing that?
Yes, but that's when he's mouthing off. And then that's when he does a rack and slide, and then when he comes back to point back at us, he's making his way back towards the edge of his truck.
You didn't know about Frank McMurray when you said that, did you?
No, I never saw Frank McMurray.
That's right. But you agree with me that all that in the oncoming lane can't happen if there's a truck driving in that oncoming lane. can it?
Object to the form of the question. Misstates the facts in the record. McMurray said he is driven by, and there's 75 yards between the vehicles.
I heard the testimony. Rephrase the question.
I think the court understands the point. Williams, at no time did you tell Weldon Boyd to stop?
No, I did not.
At no time did you tell him not to turn onto Camp Swamp Road when you saw him stopping, Scott Spivey stopping on Camp Swamp Road?
I never told Weldon to stop.
Okay. No time when you get to the apron, the beginning of Camp Swamp Road where it meets 9, you don't dispute that you could see the truck clearly, at least before you make the turn, right?
I didn't see his truck until we came up to Camp Swamp as we're making that turn.
And at that point, you don't tell Weldon to stop.
Right?
You never tell Weldon, let me out of the truck.
I'm not getting out of that truck when a man's outside of the truck with a gun.
Before that.
Before what? I'm sorry, rephrase the question. I'm sorry.
You never told him at any point in time, stop, I don't want to be in this scary situation that's now gone on for miles, let me out.
Well, after the initial problems we had with Spivey, once him and the other white truck were engaged with each other, we were further back. At that point, I'm sitting there thinking we're about to see an episode of Cops. That's what we wanted. We wanted the police to come get Spivey off the road.
So you all were going to chase him till the police got there?
We followed him while on the phone with 911.
In excess of the speed limit?
I don't know how fast we were going.
But you agree, you've testified in excess of the speed limit?
I'm sure we were, yeah.
That's all the questions I have now.
Moss.
Quick. Oh, yeah, Mr. Moss.
Moss is good.
Quickly. There's
Sir. Mr. Marks will stay right there. He asked for a double. He asked him. Hang on. He's got none? You're up.
last couple of questions that Mr. Tinsley asked you. By the time you saw that Scott Spivey's truck wasn't stopping, the brakes were on, it was stopping or had stopped, you guys had already turned into Camp Swamp Road and could not stop without getting off number 9, could you?
As soon as I seen Spivey's truck is when we were already in the process of making the turn onto Camp Swamp Road.
All right. And he was stopping at that time, but you didn't see that he had stopped before you guys ever got to Camp Swamp Road, did you?
That is correct.
That's all I have.
All right, you may step down. All right, good time for a break, and then we'll.
I got one live witness who will be very short. I got one live witness who will be very short.
Can we take this short break?
Yeah, let's take 15 and come back straight up noon. Let me see, I'm sorry. Yes.
Judge, at this juncture, the defense would rest. We have no further witnesses to call.
Very well. Now, this being any motions? I don't think there's any necessity. I'd rather you put your case up and then let the court weigh the evidence.
Yes, I think that's appropriate.
Judge, I got a motion.
Okay?
I would move that you dismiss our client Bradley Williams from this litigation as the evidence produced from this hearing establishes that he was along for the ride and there's no evidence as to who actually killed Mr. Spivey. We would move this time for dismissal of charges. Well, I say charges, it's not charges, but the lawsuit against him.
The cause of action.
Cause of action, yeah.
There are three.
All right? I'm going to respectfully take that one under advisement. Like what?
I'm going to make the same motion on behalf of Mr. Boyd. I assume you will do the same.
I'm going to do the same on both of you.
Just so I'm clear, Judge, they're just doing this as the formality of like a directed verdict, just in case someone in Columbia were to say.
You failed to make the motion.
Okay. Well, I'm going to reserve my comments until the end.
I think they protected the record if it gets determined for review that the motion should have been made there, it was made there.
Yes, sir.
They're protected as to the timing of their motion for directed verdict.
Well, and out of an abundance of caution, well, let's say we put up our case. It'd be his motion for directed verdict, I guess, if he wanted to make one here, but
I don't think that's what we're doing, but I can make one.
Case. I want direct.
Understanding the immunity statute is kind of a hybrid situation. I think y'all are appropriate making your motions. I think I'm appropriate taking it under advisement. I don't think you're required to make a motion.
You don't?
No.
Okay. Well, for the record, I would make a motion to dismiss it and for all the reasons that are in our brief, what you've heard, and what I'll argue to you, the conclusion.
Very well.
Thank you.
And Judge, maybe since this is a novel issue, it would be wise for any or all of us to ask you to give us a couple of weeks to make any motions.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about motions in connection with this.
I think we're just protecting the record. This is the motion. This is a civil case and a civil motion. You all moved to dismiss, and you have the burden. And you
They moved for a granting of immunity under that statute.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Well, I written motion is both, motion to dismiss and fines. That's both in one motion.
All right. Well, if you get immunity,
Or
then
in addition, we move for summary judgment.
I think y'all got them all. I mean, it's going to go one way or the other. It's up or down. It's not in the middle.
Right. I get that. We're in uncharted territory, aren't we?
I think so. Right.
And
Just for your information, I expect this witness to be very short. I'll be short with him. And then we have the video of the gunshot acoustics expert. It's about an hour, just over an hour with Mr. Moss's designations. Maybe we could do that, break for lunch, and then come back and make whatever argument we're going to make.
Doesn't sound like
well, yes, I'm good with that. Now, I'm not sure. Are you intending to play the entire deposition video, Mark?
What I designated and what Ken's designated is what we're going to play.
Well, in the email part, two things about this expert. First, I have a pending motion I'd like to pull about the expert before we get into the expert. It won't take long. And then secondly, in the communication with the court, we make the designations, and the representation was that the intention was to play the whole deposition, but these are the excerpts designated for the record. Now, whether it's today or whether it's in your deliberations, I respectfully would like the court to watch the whole deposition.
Go ahead.
Well, there's a
I
rule.
would join in that, but I think, I don't want them to leave out anything that's advantageous to our team. So, and I don't know how,
Well, there's a rule, right? There's a rule that directs that I would designate what we intend to publish, and then they counter-designate what they want. We have added Mr. Moss's designations when he filed that into what we intended to play. So I'm just trying to follow the rules here. In a civil case, this is the way it's done. Now, I didn't pay attention to what Mr. Moss designated in terms of what from his cross-exam, but I included everything that he designated into the video that we're going to play, which makes it about an hour and 10 minutes.
well, and I know we would definitely want O'Brien Moore's cross-examination played, which is probably 10 minutes of it, but
Sounds
I see
more and more
you.
like we're going to have to do this after lunch unless.
I'll flip flop here, now y'all do it the whole time.
Yes, sir.
I would like to do that after lunch, so that I can go find emails, Judge.
Judge, I mean, simple thing, we deposed an expert in Montana that he would like to publish the deposition. Have no problem doing that. We just want to make sure whatever he publishes, that it includes Mr. Moss's and mine's cross-examination.
You want to make designation?
I'm sorry?
He designated and y'all designated.
And I believe that has been designated, so I'm not quite sure what we're
That's what I'm concerned about.
arguing about.
I'm not arguing. I'm just telling you that.
all right, we shouldn't be arguing. Move on, move on.
It's my line. All right, let's do that short witness, and then we'll see how far we get, because y'all have been generous with your time estimations.
Yes, well, I'm going to call Lieutenant Brian Shirley.
You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give the court in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
My name is Brian Shirley.
Tell the court what you do for a living.
I'm a lieutenant with Horry County Fire Rescue.
And where is the station over where you work?
Currently, I'm assigned to Station 12, which is at 22 and 90 area.
All right. Well, how about let's do, because you've been in here a fair amount of the testimony, correct?
Yes, sir.
And do you agree with me that the station is somewhere in the vicinity on this map, close to where we see that says Seaman Seafood, somewhere just beyond that?
Well, when this incident took place, I was at Fire Station 13, which is very close to Seaman Seafood.
Oh, okay. I'm not from here. But you're sort of right in here.
That's correct.
All right. And sometime late afternoon, just before 6 o'clock, do you hear what you believe to be a high-speed chase?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to play you a Facebook post from Mr. Boyd's Facebook profile. I just want you to listen. That day, September the 9th, 2023, do you hear more than one vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Do they sound like they are in close proximity to one another?
They do.
And do you hear that engine or something that sounds like what we just heard at that point in time?
Very similar, yes, sir.
Go to the map. Now, I'm going to show you, we've marked it. What? Yeah, I understand. So that is the interactive version of this, right?
Okay.
Now, zoom in for me, Hugh. Horry County Recycling, and then that's the fire station right there?
Next door, yes, sir.
Okay, now click on that point right in front of the driveway there. 82.05 miles per hour. Do you believe that what you heard that day, that those vehicles were going at least that fast?
Your Honor, objection. How's he supposed to testify to that?
Testify what he heard.
You're used to hearing the traffic on that highway, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
What you heard that day, did it sound like it was going exceptionally faster than what you typically hear?
Faster than the posted speed limit, yes, sir.
And then almost immediately after they passed, do you hear that loud engine get even louder?
We did.
And when we see that they then continue on to go up to 113 miles an hour, do you hear what sounds like a chase that's going to approach speeds going that fast?
Yes, sir. After they left in front of the firehouse, I couldn't tell you what happened.
But you heard it, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very briefly, Your Honor, Mr. Shirley, that afternoon at the firehouse, you testified you heard some vehicle that sounded like the video that Mr. Tinsley just played.
Yes, sir.
You did not observe any vehicles on the roadway there, did you?
No, sir.
You did not know whether it was one vehicle or two vehicles or three vehicles?
I didn't see him, sir.
Okay. You don't have any idea how fast they were going, do you?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Do you know Weldon Boyd at all?
I know of Mr. Boyd.
Okay,
I do
how?
not know him personally.
You don't know him personally, but how do you know him? How do you know of him?
I've ate at his restaurant quite a few times.
Okay.
His restaurant sponsored ball teams that I've been part of.
But no personal connection to Mr.
No,
Boyd.
sir.
How about Mr. Williams?
No, sir.
How about Spivey family and Miss Foley?
I do know Scott Spivey.
How do you know them?
I have hung out with Scott Spivey before. My sister is very good friends with Miss Foley.
Okay. But on that particular day, you were not outside. You did not view any vehicles. You didn't have any view of the roadway. You don't know who was going by, and if somebody was going by fast, you don't know who it was or how fast they were going.
That would be correct.
That was the only last one I got, so that'll be it. I tried to cover them all, Judge. That's no further question.
Almost immediately after they went out of your hearing, zoom out for me. You all get a call to the shooting, don't you?
That's correct.
And you get dispatched down there to the shooting.
That's correct.
When you got the call at first, you figured it was a wreck, didn't you?
We did.
Because of the sound of the speed in which they passed the station.
That's right. We actually talked about it afterwards.
Jason, the next question,
Thank you.
testified he didn't know how many vehicles Mr. Kinsey used for that.
He testified to what he heard. He's done. You can step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I was splitting hairs now. You're welcome. Good luck to you getting back up to the fire station. All right. You got one more witness deposition to be played.
That is the witness. Yes, sir.
All right. Let's do this again. He designated a portion of the deposition. Y'all designated a portion of the deposition. Why is there need to hear anything undesignated? It may be that it's all designated. I don't know.
And I don't either, Your Honor. That's why I appreciate the opportunity to have the months to go look at the emails and look at that very issue.
Won't you look at what you designated and make sure you got it all? Amen. All right. That's going to be your last thing?
Yes.
I want to shoot for 115 or 130?
130, Judge.
All right, 130.